Great. Well, thank you for coming today. It's a 30-minute training on increasing the environmental sustainability of catered events. And also thanks if you're watching this at a later date. Um, yeah, let's get started. So the agenda that I created was to do introductions in a Jamboard, but I actually moved the Jamboard down in the agenda just in case we ran out of time. So we'll do that if we can. I will review MIT's commitment to climate action, which is sort of the overarching driver of this program. I'll teach you a little bit about materials management at Tufts, existing resources for sustainable events, and then campus as a test bed for better solutions. So I can introduce myself first. Dawn Quirk. I work in the Office of Sustainability as the Design Outweighs project manager. And so one of my professional goals is to reduce society's reliance and use of single-use items. And also I should note that this project has been blessed by the procurement office at MIT, and many of the new preferred catering vendors are aware of our goals to design out waste. So if you're working with a new vendor, they may completely understand like why you might be asking for some certain requests. I'll pass to Rebecca.
Thanks, Dawn. Rebecca, I'm also in the Office of Sustainability. I'm the admin assistant, so I am the one who orders catering for our office. Generally for our office, we just have meetings and we're only 9 people, so I often just order takeout so that everyone gets exactly what they want and there's no extra food. Everything interests me about sustainable catering and trying to get other people interested in it also. I'll pass to Morgan. Oh, you're muted.
Hi, I'm B. My pronouns are she, her. I work at UPOP, which is the Undergraduate Practice Opportunities Program. And typical events for us, we have a few different things happening. We have milestone events, which we typically just offer snacks for. We have an orientation, which is a meal. And then our cornerstone event is a 3.5-day workshop that happens 3 times. So that's four days of food, breakfast and lunch, 3 times. And that is quite a big event for us at least. And what interests me most about sustainable catering is generally, I mean, Dawn and I had a lot of conversation about packaging and how to be actually be mindful of more recyclable materials.
Great. Gunther, do you want to go next?
Sure, I appreciate everybody coming together today on a Friday. I know that it sometimes can be a nuts and crazy day, but thank you for joining us. My first name is Gunther. I am the Zero Waste Project Manager over here on Albany Street with Facilities. My partners here are in the recycling office, and of course, facilities. We have maintenance mechanics and landscapers. My background is most of my professional career has been a municipal material manager. So I've been on campus for 2 months now to bring that specialty of material management with the goals of zero waste. Related specifically to catering, I think was already mentioned, to make things either compostable, so we'll talk about the food waste component, but also recyclable and to minimize the single use.
Great. Thank you, Gunther. Last but not least, Sabina.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sabina. I'm at the Center for International Studies. We have a variety of events, but the most often we do is when we bring in speakers for our STAR forums. We rent out a big auditorium. It's usually 100 to 200 people, and we provide snacks for that. Pretty substantial snacks. And so what interests me about sustainable catering is I think there's a lot of points actually at our event that produces a lot of waste. But I think, just focusing on catering could be a good start in making our event more sustainable overall.
Hey, thank you.
So I
Sabina,
don't want to steer Don's topics, but for those of you that are hosting events in your buildings, Don will certainly be happy to share the zero waste or self-certifying events, so you can score your ability to design out waste.
it's true. Sabina, did you happen to go to the AI lunch on Tuesday this week at
No,
Cresby?
I didn't.
Okay. When I'll email folks a few photos of that. It was it was served, the over 1,000 lunches were served in a different way to reduce waste, and it was it's never perfect, but I liked it. It was pretty great. All right, let's see. So, this is a little bit of our spiel, but Office aims to transfer MIT into a powerful model, one that generates just, equitable, applicable, and scalable solutions for responding to the unprecedented challenge of a changing planet. So, this is one way that we're going to be collaborative and find some better solutions that work for MIT. And in May of 2021, MIT published a very in-depth climate action plan called Fast Forward, MIT's Climate Action Plan for the Decade. The plan has evolved to 17 work streams. And here on the bottom, you can see the work streams that are most applicable to this work that we're doing. So we have a food impact goal, the waste impact goal, and then, geez, I can't even see. Oh, right, department level climate action planning. And specifically for waste, the impact goal commits us to reducing our trash disposed by 30% by 2030. And that's essentially, about 900 tons of waste. And that's also, coincides with an average of our food waste that is in our trash. And so a milestone goal of the bigger 2030 goal is by 2026, we'll be completing single-use waste reduction pilots with 5 schools, targeting high volume single-use purchases. And then the aim is to inform scalable implementation of campus-wide single-use waste reduction strategies by 2030. And so now, this brings us to waste at events. So our events here for all different reasons: to inform, celebrate, gather, refresh, recognize, for camaraderie, to confer around topics, to inspire, and to motivate. That was a nice description of MIT events. And the cost there is over $13 million a year. And as I mentioned, food waste is one of our largest volume of waste that we have the ability to divert. And single-use items are not sustainable, and because coated food service paper is not recyclable or compostable. And we'll watch a little video about that. Of course, single use is very convenient, and it's inconvenient to recycle it due to the food residue that needs to be managed. And so compostable food serviceware or biodegradable food serviceware is it been an industry response to consumers' desire to be more environmentally friendly and to not waste resources. But unfortunately, there's a large disconnect between those products and the systems that exist in place to recycle them and to reuse them as a new material. And so I'm going to send out this presentation to you. I screenshot some of the best sections of this long New York Times article that really breaks it down very well on what are the problems with these items. And this little video, I think it will work. This is a 3-minute video on where MIT's food waste goes, and the highlight of this facility is that it's a depackaging facility. So it can rescue like a tractor trailer load of meat that went rotten for some reason, and one simple process, it will extract the food for energy reuse and then dispose of the packaging. But when it comes to MIT, we would like our packaging to be processed also for energy, but that's not how this plant is set up. And here you'll learn.
Local solution for food waste recycling for cities throughout the country. The process has had a huge impact on our company being able to provide solutions throughout waste management for organics and organics management. Food scrapings from restaurant kitchens, grocery store byproducts, stadium waste materials, food processing operations and institutions. EPA's data shows that approximately 21% of solid waste stream is made up of food waste. Food waste in its basic form is energy, and its wasted form is wasted energy. And we've been able to advance a process here to help us recover that energy in the form of a product that can be co-digested at municipal wastewater treatment plants.
The food that we normally throw away can be used as a fuel to produce renewable energy, and that renewable energy can be put to good use and make electricity and heat that ordinarily you would have to purchase.
Trucks deliver food waste to our tipping floor. Materials loaded into a hopper. We're able to take products such as depackaging material from food manufacturers or grocery stores, and we're able to reach into waste streams that may traditionally have not been recycled. Engineered bioslurry product from our system is the food waste fraction that's been separated from the contaminant fraction. A series of tanks allow us to take product, gently mix, blend, and allow any residual material to settle out from that fraction. We capture the final product, our EBS, an engineered bioslurry, and transport that to a wastewater treatment plant where it's fed into a receiving station and then ultimately introduced into the co-digestion process. Every ton of food waste that hits our tipping floor and is processed via our core solution to produce our EBS product, delivered to a wastewater treatment plant and digested, results in enough electrical energy produced to power 8 to 10 homes. We've been able to develop a number of core facilities in major metropolitan locations throughout the United States. Our EBS lab, which is located at every one of our core facilities, is set up to take composite samples of our product, analyze it for certain criteria, and produce a certificate of analysis that demonstrates that we've met the criteria for that material shipped to the municipal wastewater treatment plant.
Waste Management's core facility has been beneficial to the Greater Lawrence Sanitary District by providing EBS material that has significantly increased our biogas production for renewable energy use. We have on-site furnaces that can utilize biogas. That biogas will provide heat for process buildings, administration buildings, as well as heating the digesters on site.
Waste Management is a leader in processing the food waste into a high-value end product that's ideally suited for co-digestion. This is a really exciting sector of the business.
All right. For food waste, I just wanted to focus a little bit on our single stream recycling and just point out that coated paper isn't food service. Most most non-food service paper is not coated. So coated paper is primarily used in food service, and that is not recyclable. Black plastic is not recyclable. Bio-based plastic is not recyclable. Wrappers, utensil straws, condiment packages, and heavily soiled recyclables are not recyclable. So that's, a lot of what we have at events. So that's why we're working together to try to find some solutions. We do have existing resources. So like Gunther mentioned, we have a sustainable catering checklist and also a corresponding self-certification. And so if we are working together through this process, I'm happy to help you certify your event. And then we also have Waste Watcher students who can help at an event. And I will be supplying complimentary Waste Watcher services for the events that we choose to work on together. And for example, has invited me to come to her event in January, and I know I have at least one student who can help, but maybe more over IAP. And then we'll find these great solutions and we'll scale up the ones that work. Because, we need to catalyze change. On my listening tour, when I started this job, single-use catering waste is really like the biggest conversation piece that people have. And so, it's great to have our checklist, but, I would like to see ways that we can take some of the burden off the event planners in coordination with caterers and existing systems and collection systems that will help more easily facilitate low waste systems for events. So for the next steps, some of this has happened already. I know I'm working with B. I thought we could identify opportunities to trial low waste events and determine metrics of success for your event. And then at the end, I will be assessing performance and sharing results with everybody from all the events. Yeah. So I don't know, discussion. I don't know if you have any questions too about the video or about recycling, anything. And then maybe we can confirm upcoming events if relevant. So I'll open it up, and I know I'm going a little fast. I just want to be mindful of everybody's time, and also for people who watch this, it'll be just like very doable to share 30 minutes, even as I plod along here with this recording. Yeah, does anybody have any discussion points or questions?
I always like watching those waste videos from the actual waste collectors. They're always really informative. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yeah, it was nice. I've seen it, but it was interesting to see it again.
Don, you had mentioned that many of the existing caterers already know these guidelines. Do you have a one-pager or SOP document if we're gonna bring on, or somebody else hires a different third party, something that as we're ordering for an event, we can send ahead to them and say, these are the standards that we'd like to have our event or our catering live by?
No, and I think so. This project was initially conceived to be me working with the new preferred vendors, and that would have potentially been an outcome. But through lots of different conversations with procurement office, we changed the plan to be sort of the vendors would be engaged through the event planners working with me. And then I think that would be a phase 2. It's important to not lose things in translation. So caterers are trying to serve us food here. And so, there's a lot of opportunity for misinterpretation, I think, if we're trying to just hand something out, and things do change. But for now, our event checklist stands as sort of like a handout. So it's a good question. Maybe there's a way that we could have a version of that for an event planner to say to a caterer, hey, we're going to self-certify through this certification program through the Office of Sustainability, and here are some of our goals. So I like that suggestion, Gunther.
The reason I ask is there's been some talk here at facilities for our yet to be scheduled staff holiday party, and there might be 40 people here, and they're rattling off names of 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 companies, caterers that are not on campus but near campus, and oh, we could order from B&B and they'll be here. You know, everybody likes them, and so if we had a 1-page handout, then I would give it to my office staff to say, all right, whichever one of those 3 vendors you pick for our holiday party, here are some guidelines, like no plastic, black plastic, and no disposable, no straws, no plastic, whatever it is. It would be great if we had, just a simple checklist that we could forward to them and say, please don't use styrofoam clamshells.
Yeah.
Don't use wax-based clamshells. So
Okay.
Whatever you might have, then we can start to use here at smaller. I mean, it's not as big as commencement. It's only,
Yeah.
one day lunch for 40 people. But if, small inroads, we can help.
When is it?
Yet to be determined. I will ask, the admin person is out today. I'll grab her on Monday and email you any information I have. As maybe you recognize the vendor and maybe they're already aiming for these outcomes.
Okay. Sounds good. And Rebecca might know more too about those folks over there doing the planning, but we can always deploy some waste watchers at a minimum to help. Yeah. Sabina, do you have any thoughts or do you have any thoughts about events when we can help you or just be part of it?
Yeah, I'm definitely most interested in like the waste watcher thing, because sometimes I think like even if we have the correct bins and stuff, if you have 100 people at an event, people will just kind of not maybe dispose of things in the right way. So I'd be interested in, getting a waste watcher at an event. Like I think that would be interesting, but I'm also wondering how much of a that doesn't seem like a long-term solution. That seems like a bit more of a band-aid. So I'd be interested in thinking about how we could, I mean, obviously reducing the single use we use in general would probably help. But I'd be interested in thinking about like more long-term solutions as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's I think where we dive a little bit into meal planning and how food is served. So I'll send you some photos of a big lunch that CSAIL put on Tuesday, and they served the meals in a way, there was still waste there for sure, but they served the meals in a way that was lower waste and also like a la carte, so people could pick what they want to eat, which I think means less waste because everyone ate I was observing the whole lunch and everyone ate everything that they took versus giving people food that they may or may not want. So it was exciting.
I'd be interested to just see that.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll make a little I'll add a few slides about that when I send this out. Yeah, CSAIL's working with me on this project. They're just on this call, but I'll send them the video, and I'm curious to circle back with them and find out how people felt about the lunch. Yeah. But I agree with you, a waste watcher is a little bit of a Band-Aid. And so that's why, us working together, I think we can figure out those long-term solutions together. So I appreciate that insight and that outlook that you're thinking in the long run, because that's the only way we can transition society away from wasteful events, I think, is by coming up with these solutions together.
One of the other, possibly a Band-Aid also, the other item when it's in the events checklist is it's one of my favorites. It's called the sustainability moment. So like you take 30 seconds at the beginning of your meeting to just tell people about how to throw things away. Like, thanks for coming. All of the plates in your hand go in the trash. Everything, all the food goes into the food waste bin, and just the aluminum cans you're drinking out of go in recycling or something. And it just demonstrates that the whole event is been thoughtful and that the people even just running the event care about it. This takes a few seconds. Not everyone's going to listen, so the Waste Watchers in addition is good.
Mhm.
You know,
And
that's
I
a
think
great
part of that
point.
might be, and I saw a statistic, and I think it's on the Mitos website, where events that had assistance at the waste stations had sorting helpers. The contamination, was documented and makes a huge difference. So yes, although it may, only happen once a year, versus the 5 or 6 large events that you might have, it's definitely a proven tactic to have bodies at sorting stations. So kudos to scheduling them.
So Sabina, can I follow up with you about an event that's coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. I know we had talked about an event that was going to happen in November. It actually got canceled. But we have
Okay.
some coming up in January and February that we can definitely talk about.
Okay, perfect. Anything else? We're at 1 o'clock.
Thanks for this, Dawn.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Dawn.
My pleasure. I hope you found it useful, and we'll continue these discussions. I look forward to working with you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Dawn.
all. Good afternoon. Bye.
Don, I'll look forward to your sharing your slides.
Yep, for sure.
Excellent. Awesome.
Okay. Bye.